Hello, I'm interviewing Witness from Witness Gaming, owner of Witness Gaming, in fact. Now, recently he kind of piqued my interest just meeting him in person with Recep.gg, the lands, just very interesting stuff to see, but then a lot of mentoring history as well. The CP Steel Bible, the Upward Bible that you can see here. Got a lot of uploads on YouTube, just a very kind of like responsible role model, a prominent figure in the TF2 community, specifically Highlander. But, owning a TF2 team, pretty impressive with the sponsorships. Go ahead and take it off for a little bit. Introduce yourself.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, my name's Witness. Blitztank pretty much nailed everything there. I've been in the scene, I guess, since 2016, as we found out in the pre-show, which I had no idea was that long ago. But I do pretty much had my career up in Highlander. Split off into sixes, did a little bit of that, did a lot of mentoring, did a lot of sponsorship stuff, still going strong with that with the Witness Gaming stuff you see today. Recently we actually split off into Smash Ultimate, and we're sponsoring a player named Jackal, who is currently the #1 player in New Jersey, as well as one of the top 30 players in all of North America. So that's pretty interesting stuff going on all around. Witness Gaming still going on all over the world. We have it going on in Australia and in Europe, and the European team will be playing in I-Series this coming next month. Yeah, the 25th of next month in August. So hopefully by the time people are hearing this, we're walking away with a win over Banny in Europe.
This is probably going up on this Friday or this Saturday.
That's all right.
Or Monday.
Calling my shot now. We're gonna roll him probably.
It's a prediction. You've heard it here. I agree. Okay. I usually like to just start off with a little bit about TF2 and TF2 history, but I'm gonna be real here. I think the right place just to start off with this. How did Witness Gaming start? What gave you the motivation? What's the funding for? Give me the details on the corporation, really, or whatever the organization.
So, gosh, Witness Gaming has been around for a long time, but also not a very long time. I'll kind of send this to your Steam, but our Wikipedia page, it says we were created in 2020, but I've been sponsoring teams out of my own pocket probably since 2018.
I got Wikipedia up for it.
But if you scroll down to our season 4 logo, you can kind of see the jump between when the person kind of became the brand.
Yeah. I see that.
It just kind of came out of my love for the community and wanting to really elevate people to attend lands and to be pillars in the community, people to look up to and people to find competitive inspiration. I remember I first started sponsoring teams without the name with Black Swan a long time ago, and that was Ether, Cheris. I think Donovan might have been on that team, but Donovan was actually one of the guys who said, "Hey, let's name our team Witness Gaming." And then, I think in a random season 2 or 3 of RGL, there's an advanced team called Witness Gaming with Donovan and a few other of my friends on that roster.
Let's see.
And it kind of stuck. And kind of took a break after that, a season break, and then I came back with the season 4 roster, sponsoring again. And then from there, we just kind of snowballed into what we are today with High Five, the whole 20B guys.
Right. So looking at the profile, it started off season 1, Donovan led it in advanced. You got 270. Season 4 resumed. Season 6, you got the win. Okay. So how did you kind of how did you make it actionable though? What was the process of sort of sponsoring them? How did it get to that point, right?
A lot of it is just me reaching out and kind of getting my name out there and just hanging out with people. people understanding that I'm willing to put money kind of up and behind them to support them, and them being down to like kind of cooperate with me and get this project moving. Um, I don't profit from Witness Gaming. It's all pretty much at a loss for the most part. Um, I don't take any like player winnings. I actually pay people at the end of the seasons to finish seasons like fully.
Oh, wow.
So like I really try to incentivize, a good culture at the top level of like what I believe is TF2 is invite 6v6. That is the best form of TF2 you can possibly get from a competitive standpoint, mechanically, and from like a spectator's point of view as well. Um, so a lot of the future rides on that. So to me, I feel like the brand and the attitude should reflect longevity and positivity above all else.
That's really out there. I respect that a lot. You have a clear goal, putting the resources in to make it work. That's kind of unique within the TF2 community, though, right? Like, I don't think you see too many of those big big, long-lasting kind of like sponsor teams. Besides just from like the top players playing for themselves, right?
So I think sponsorships and sponsor teams kind of come and go. Before me, there was Ascent. I think we're kind of like the next Ascent in a way. There's a lot of similarities with the people kind of involved. You had the global clan teams. You had Velocity, Swift. Like those people all. Oh, Faint was another one. Faint kind of came and went. But I want to try and be around longer than those guys and be more active as well. Like, I remember there was a point with Ascent where they actually didn't really do anything TF2 related, but they never put out like an actual statement saying like, "Hey, we're not involved with TF2." They just kind of let the name sit there for a while, and people could use the name if they wanted to, if they were like associated in the past. But that was it. You could only use the name, and that was it. I like being more hands-on and like being more engaged, just to know what's going on. How can I improve this? How can I make people better?
Right, and it kind of like really helps just like give that game that sense of just professionalism and purpose kind of at the top level that you don't really see that much of. Like, it's usually just like one team at a time, right?
For one team at a time for what?
For like invite. It's just like a lot of the teams just kind of come and go, as you said, yeah?
I would say like the sponsorships kind of come and go, but the group of players still kind of stays the same. Which for me, I feel like having recognizable names and branding that stays around a long time is overall healthy for the scene.
Right.
Like, how weird would it be if Froyo changed their name every season? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it would make it that much harder for the casual player kind of connect with them for sure.
Yeah, I feel like having Witness Gaming and Froyo and G6, like you kind of know the top 3 teams and like the names, and then the faces, even if they change, you still know the name of the team, and you can kind of associate with the brand behind the name. If that makes sense, even if the players kind of get scrambled around.
Okay. So do you think like maybe in the future in TF2 we see like more of these like long-lasting sponsorships, or do you think?
I think it depends on the people getting involved and their dedication to it. Obviously you can't come into this, do like 2 seasons and quit, because that's not even a year. They're like 3 seasons in a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing this for almost 3 years now, which is kind of crazy. But that kind of thing matters a lot whenever you're looking over this kind of thing and being like, oh well, I want to even sponsoring like a mid-level invite team can help a long way because people will know your name, you know.
Right. Okay.
Mal is a good example of that.
My Anime Lab?
Yeah. Mal is a good example. They're not sponsored, but they've kept the same name, so it's become kind of synonymous with like, you know, who is associated with that group. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. So you expanded to other regions as well, right? Kind of like spreading that ideal?
Yeah. So a lot of the Witness Gaming expansions kind of happened accidentally, which is kind of weird. Because I told myself going in, I wanted to be strictly North America. I wanted to strictly be like NATF2 only, focus on that, grow that. But over time, what happened is high level teams like top 2, top 3 teams, top 1 teams in Europe and in Australia wanted to reach out. And they kind of had the same goal. Like they respected the brand and what I was doing with it and how I carried it, and they wanted to kind of be a part of that. So meeting up and talking to those guys like overseas, it really opened my eyes a bit to actually like how what I'm doing is bigger than me. You know,
Right.
it gave me the realization that Witness Gaming is bigger than Witness. You know,
For sure.
But it's nice to know that people respect what I've been doing and want to be a part of it with association. Like, you know, Tomas and I. Tomas plays on Witness Gaming EU. He's a Pocket Scout. Very, very firm believer in what I'm doing and supports, you know, the brand and carries it well. And all the other guys on that team carry it really well too. The guys in Australia, all really nice. Cookie, Down, Dak, like all those guys, Enrith, they're all really into what I'm doing. And they want to bring it over there into their region. And because of that, like, you know, I think Witness Gaming in Australia is one of the best teams down there right now. Witness Gaming EU, one of the best teams in Europe right now. So I think the way they're carrying themselves with the flag on their back matters and gives them some more like motivation. Same thing with Jackal too in Smash. You know, he's been playing out of his mind recently in like the Smash scene. And recently, you know, in quarter 2 of PR, and PR is like your player rating or whatever, like how you rank in like your state, in your region. He's above Tweak, who is sponsored by Team Liquid, which is really funny to think about. So it's just kind of. I think Tweak might be on TSM instead, not Liquid. I think Tweak's on TSM, but it's just funny to see, you know, with like Smash, like the WG brand and tag in front of like 43,000 people on like a Smash stream.
Right. Well,
and then you see it up there with like TSM and Liquid and like all those really big orgs. I'm just like, you know, this could really be a really big thing in a couple of years if I play it right.
You know what they say, that Witness TF2 players and Smash players both smell.
That's true.
That's the similarity there.
Every player on Witness Gaming showers, I promise.
Oh, excellent. Sponsoring the health of the scene.
That's a standard. Good hygiene is what we need more of in the scene.
I agree. Helps to have a good mental, and a good mental is fundamental, in the words of one Ronnie J.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, very interesting. Didn't know that it was accidental for your initial expansion to other regions. Is that something you think like you're gonna intentionally try and do more of going forward though? Like, are you going to try and expand more to other games from this point on, kind of using the momentum maybe off the back of Jackal from Smash?
I've thought about that, and I really think I want to see how this plays out for Jackal. because my biggest thing with me and Jackal is we have the relationship we have is a little bit more intimate than like me and TF2, because instead of me interacting with 6 different people, it's more of a one-on-one kind of thing. So I go from like a sponsor to more of like a manager figure. So with Jackal, me and him have a meeting like once a week, and we talk about like, here's our content plan. We want to put out these kind of videos and get these views for like this crowd. We want to stream this kind of content. We want to go to this many majors in like a year. So we're constantly planning and like trying to like figure out ways to make a profit, because it's much easier to do that with like one person,
Right.
in a game as big as like Smash Bros.
And if you're having like all these plans for expansions, like you have to make sure at least some of it is sustainable, right?
Yeah. So usually what I do with stuff is I always try and make sure like I can actually not put myself in financial danger whenever I sponsor people.
Right.
So I think definitely taking it slow. Like if this Jackal thing goes well and it proves to be profitable and it proves to like I can actually kind of get some stuff going with it, I might pick up another Smash player, or I might go into like multiverses, or I might do Apex or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like wherever the wind blows, basically.
I hear you, yeah.
But slowly and kind of dipping my toe in and seeing like what it's like and if I actually enjoy doing it. Because Witness Gaming is also just me. So if I don't like something, it's probably not going to happen, right?
Right. Honestly, I'm super glad. Like, this is super insightful, man. I'm loving it. I'm super excited for what the future could hold.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I do have some follow-ups, actually, like some angles I also want to take a crack at it from, right? So first, I want to ask, do you do like much travel? Like, I know you've gone to the lands and whatnot, but do you ever like travel around, I don't know, like international, like, or cross states besides for lands, just to, like, meet up with these people? Is that something you end up doing at all?
We're actually doing this for Jackal. Me and Jackal are going to a few majors together. So next month is busy, actually. So next month we're going to Boston for RGLN. And then the week after that, I'm turning around immediately and going to Virginia.
Yo, that's where I'm at! No way!
We're going to Chantilly.
Oh, that's actually not too far from where I used to live.
Yeah, we're going there for SmashCon. And then we're going... Then I think in like October, I'm going to Miami for a major. And probably Detroit.
Okay. Oh, you gotta bring some bodyguards, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, we went through Philadelphia. It's fine.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I'll go in the Riddler suit again. It was a big win in Philly. They loved it.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
Yeah,
I love that thing. But I like the traveling stuff. Obviously, with like COVID, no. Like prior, with like COVID and a lot of travel restrictions and the whole country shutting down, it was hard to travel then. For the first RGLM. But it really picked up this year with everything, because we went, to Fullerton. We went to Philadelphia. Now I'm going to Boston. Now I'm going to Virginia.
Right.
We were going to go to Copenhagen,
but they got canceled for COVID.
Yeah, we were going to go to Copenhagen. We were very closely going to go to iSeries, Or I was personally going to go to iSeries to hang out with all the European people, but if you pull up this like a calendar and look at August, it's like we leave on the 4th for Boston,
RGL land.
Leave on the 11th for SmashCon. You get a week off, and then on the 25th or 24th you go to Europe. Like, that's a lot of travel.
Hear me out, Witness. Hear me out. You hire me to go in your place.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Sponsor me, journalists.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, think about it. It's an investment. Okay. That must be pretty cool, though. Just like kind of taking it to the next level with TF2. They were just physically traveling around for all of that.
Yeah, it's nice to see everybody, and just kind of like put faces to names and names to faces. maybe meet people who I've have been fans of like the team, but don't really like know me.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like a lot of people didn't know how big I was until like they met me at LAN. like, like people see me for the first time, they're like, "Damn, dude, you're tall."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, I am." But it's just nice getting to see everyone and hang out.
Yeah.
There's no better experience than that.
Seeing this different size of players' foreheads, yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I will not mention the specific player's forehead, for I do not want to be banned. It's Banny. Size captain. I'm kidding. Respect.
I gotta hold all the brain in there.
Yeah. Alright, that's cool, that's cool. Do you end up interacting with, like, companies, like, anything like that at all? Or is it sheerly just, like, on a your
Do
own?
I interact with companies? How
Yeah,
do you mean?
like, let me kind of, like, rephrase this to, like, elaborate, kind of, like, loop it around, right? So, you do most of, like, the money stuff sponsoring, like, just on a
Sure.
personal level, right? Like, you don't really
Yeah.
interact. Do you interact with, like, companies, corporations, anything like that, though? Kind of, like,
So a lot again, but Witness Gaming is literally me.
right? But, like, do you
Like
get any
I'm
companies reaching out to you?
usually what I do is if I need help with a project, I will reach out to like find like a hired gun, like find like someone to commission something for me. I would say the one company I have worked closely with over the past year and a half is probably Raven, and Raven is a jersey company,
Oh, yeah, Witness
and
Gaming Jersey.
yeah, and they make the Witness Gaming jerseys. We've talked a lot on email about getting all like the logistics and things set up, but there's never been any reaching out for like sponsorships from other companies for things.
Do you think that's something you could see more of in the future, or is that not really in line with your interests?
It's again, it's pretty much in my hands, really.
Right,
like,
right.
if I want to reach out and do that, I could. Um, so we'll just have to see and like how it comes. I think Smash is actually the way to kind of do it because there's more eyes. Like I'll kind of swing it back around. I was talking about Jackal
Mhm.
being sponsored. First of all, he's an amazing like guy. Very humble, very nice, very very good at the game. Um, Definitely the kind of guy I am proud to have like wearing my banner. Um, but he's playing in like Las Vegas. Like there was a major called Double Down. He got 7th out of like 980, I think.
Hmm.
But he was playing on like the main VG bootcamp stream in front of like 45,000 people, plus the people in the crowd there. So just kind of getting that kind of reach. Sometime somebody's gonna reach out. It's just a matter of time before then.
Right. That's a pretty big acquisition.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's really big, and Sandblast actually got me in touch with him because he's a New Jersey Smash player as well. So it's definitely big ups to Sandblast for that, but bringing it back around, getting those eyeballs on the brand and on the tag can lead to bigger projects down the road if companies want to work with me. It's just a matter of like me going to these events, traveling, like you said, and networking and kind of meeting these people and making it known kind of who I am and what I'm about. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. I think that's. I guess there is like one more question I have about Witness Gaming, just sort of like as a more abstract thing, like as
Sure.
a team and whatnot. So what kind of led up to you beating Froyo Tech? Like, what? How did that end up transpiring? What led to that sort of like transformation of the team?
I mean, we were better one night and they weren't. I mean,
Skill issue on their part?
I think I feel like the team now, the the way they were playing in season 6, it wasn't meta defining, but it was interacting with teams in a way that they couldn't quite adjust to fast enough. Very much like double bomb the combo, see what you can get, commit or decommit, you know.
Right.
Europe's been doing that for years. It's just like back then in season 6, I think it was much more effective because people weren't quite used to it at that level, and even then it was still like unpolished in my opinion. But they executed the plan really well, and there was good team chemistry as well.
Right. Okay.
So I think also playing a lot of Koth maps helped a lot in that series too. I think that team, like with Yite and everyone else, was really good at Koth, especially Bagel. So kind of getting like to play their best maps and getting more opportunities to walk it back in closer games really played in like that team's strengths the most.
So just like focusing on what makes your own team unique, kind of building around that instead of just
recognizing your play style, optimizing it, and then executing it is very important. So and obviously, like you're tested a lot against like a versatile team like Froyo who can pull out things you're not used to. So knowing how to respond to that is also a big part of the game too.
Right. So it's less about just like finding the perfect meta and just like more so like finding what's perfect for your own team and then being prepared to like have teams try and use that against you and vice versa.
I mean that sounds like a game of TF2, yeah.
Okay. No, that's pretty fair.
You know, because I feel like, you know, at that level, it's not two ships passing in the night. You know what I mean? Like you are forced to interact with whatever they're doing at some point, right?
Right.
But being able to recognize what's going on, communicate it with 5 other guys, and then execute matters a lot.
All right. Does Witness Gaming have any plans to expand into Highlander? Do you think you can revitalize Highlander in that sense with sponsorships?
I've thought about doing Highlander. I just don't. I don't think it's a mature enough format yet.
Do you think it'll ever be mature enough then?
I think it's more so just like, what would I really do with it aside from name alone? You know what I mean?
No, I can see that, yeah.
And you know, it's like I think I look at who's in top 4 right now? Like
4500 Froggyland, somebody helped the fog, and then Candy died.
I think like 2 of the top 4 teams, just looking at it, like 1 or more players have like a league probation tag on.
Oh no.
So like that kind of behavior I don't want to associate myself with, and I feel like it's more volatile in Highlander. So I don't want to like touch it just yet. Now if there was like a mature team who wanted to get better and felt comfortable wearing that tag and demonstrated to me that they're willing to work hard, you know, yeah, then I would go into it.
Right. Like,
but I only ever look for the top 2 teams, consistently top 2 teams.
Okay.
Which is different than what I was doing previously when I first started doing this. But now that like the standard is Witness Gaming NA, top 2, top 3 team. Witness Gaming EU, top 2 team. Witness Gaming EU, top 2 team, right? I decided that's what I want the brand to be associated with, and I want it to be with professionalism, hardworking people, and people willing to like sit down and prove the reason why they're top 2 and prove why they have on like the tag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's all about just like having people that you can be like, this is what Witness Gaming stands for.
Well, again, like think about it like, you know, my name is on it, right?
Right.
And I don't want my name associated with bad things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's like basically getting a top 2 team in Highlanders could be kind of impossible within that context. Half joking, half not.
Well, I mean, yeah, half joking, half not. If there's a group that wants to like show me that they're mature and can actually like show they're dominant, well, we can talk about it. But I haven't been impressed the past year.
Yeah.
I'll just say that straight up.
I'm gonna be honest, right? Like, I feel like most people, I don't know, like, most of them either don't care, I feel like, or just like, okay, we want to be treated seriously, we want to be treated professionally, but then they just like don't put the effort into it, right?
Yeah, and you can't really do both.
Yeah.
Like I think Banny is a great example. Like a lot of players on Froyo, Jay. I love Jay. Jay is like my best friend. Like we live really close together. He's like 20 minutes away from me. We hang out a lot. He's humble, but he's like one of the mechanically the best player like in the world, man. Like Jay will come over sometimes to my house before lands, and he'll play on my setup and just roll people. And I'm like, I don't want to touch my keyboard after he plays on my PC. Because I'm like, I can't do that, But he's good, and he's like humble about it, and he still tries and works, Banny still works.
So, do you think that then like there's just not really like any real like role models for Highland, like in Highlander, like?
I can't speak on that because I think the last time I played a full season was like. You're the one with like the research page. I don't remember
yeah.
last time I played.
Let me pull it up real quick.
Was it Yi?
Probably.
Season 11?
Yeah, season 10 Yi.
Season 10 Yi.
Before that was Goose Lagoon, then I think you subbed Gang U Tactics, and I think so like season 10, season 9, and then I think you're mostly like subbing like pretty much most of the time before that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Huntsman Jail. That was a good team.
It's like season 5 probably last season you played? Like besides season 9.
The last full season I played? I played season 5 with Home Depot.
Ah, okay. Home Depot as well.
I played Spy that season. I got 3rd place on Spy. People don't know that. People don't know I'm good at a lot of classes. Mostly hit scanning classes. That's not true. I played Soldier and Invite.
Yeah, Goose Lagoon.
Yeah,
and Yi, maybe? No,
I played Heavy. I played Heavy, Scout, Soldier, and Spy.
Right. Okay. And then I guess just like one final question to loop around and finish off the WG arc. So, what sort of effect does it have on you personally, like having your team having that reputation? Like, do you have random people like in casual, in TF2, or like in random games, just like recognize you
all the time?
Oh yeah,
all the time, yeah.
And it's definitely something that's just like really defined your life.
Oh, dude, it's redefined my life.
Like really defined.
Oh, I don't know about redefined, but no. I mean, I feel like it's nice. I remember. The season we won, it was a long series. I don't think it ended till like 2 a.m. And I went to bed during the finals because I had work at 5 a.m. the next morning. So I'm like, I can't stay up. And then suddenly I'm laying in bed, sleeping, and my phone just starts like blowing up.
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So I opened my phone and it's just like 20 messages from like 20 different people. GG, bro. GG. Oh my god, you did it. OMG. And it's just like really humbling and warming, to kind of feel that, Well, then like in casual too, it's like, hey, Froyo Slayer. I'm like, oh, dude. That's...
You gonna rebrand now? WG Froyo Slayer?
Well, like it's funny because a lot of the people recognize Witness Gaming as the team that did it after 6 years,
Yeah, it's a big legacy to have.
So people recognize it and they'll say hi, and I'll always say hey, because they recognize the brand or whatever.
Right.
Like sometimes in the RGL Discord, I'll type Witness or WG, and I think I saw one where it's like, I'm in a pub with the Witness medic. His profile looks pretty legit. And then I think Wish is like, it's funny because that's actually him.
Seems legit. Okay. So what's do you have like a career, like a means of financially sustaining yourself outside of witness gaming, though? Yeah,
No, I'm homeless.
you are.
No. No,
As
no.
I was gonna say, seems sus to me.
No. Yeah, I mean, I have a full-time job, obviously.
Do you want to talk about like career college for a bit?
Didn't go to college.
Oh, interesting.
No,
Bit of an entrepreneur.
yeah, I just work at a community center as a manager.
I see.
So it's just a salary job, nice little 40,000 a year. And
Right.
I do odd jobs on like the side.
So is witness gaming kind of gonna become like, I don't know, like a super professional interest going forward in the future? Like maybe a means of career at some point?
I always try and keep my options open. I feel like the lessons I've learned with witness gaming professionally in terms of like business, it's all self-taught, all the social media stuff, all the networking, all the travel planning, all the logistics of it. It's all been self-taught. And I feel like a lot of the skills I picked up along the way could lead to a bigger career in esports down the road.
I definitely agree. Yeah, like I'm imagining, esports people looking at seeing that experience, seeing what you've done. Yeah. No.
Well, I mean, I have witness gaming on my resume,
Nice.
Well, I mean, seriously though, I mean that's a good thing to have
No,
because
I'd agree.
it's an entrepreneurial like pursuit, which shows commitment to something, even though it might not be profitable.
Right, and it's very unique.
And it's unique, and it demonstrates skills that might otherwise you couldn't pick up in like school right away. You know what I mean?
Right, like you can't really just be educated on the art of TF2.
I do want to advocate though, like anyone who's younger, might be in high school listening, like definitely do go to school. Like that's like a big thing. Like definitely, if you're looking to get into like esports, take entrepreneur classes, take business classes, look and see if your college offers like any esports related classes, like esports business stuff like that. I'll say like a lot of what I see looking in as someone who's interviewed for, companies like Nerd Street, like localhost, like these companies like this. A lot of the people working in those industries really early on got in because they worked for it as like a passion project, not because they went to school and got trained for it. If you can bring whatever you're trying to learn from your major in like to the table and make yourself appealing and offer like actual theorized insight through what you learned in school, it'll make you a lot more valuable. Just in the field. Like right now, I'm thinking about going back to school and actually like getting like a business degree because I want to work in esports business because that's what witness gaming is. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm just trying to say, anyone younger who heard me say, "Oh, he didn't go to college," definitely do it if you're trying to like learn. College isn't for everyone, but it just helps you avoid, like for me, it took me almost a year and a half to figure out how I wanted to do it. But if I had like a college level mentor to kind of help me out and show me like where to start, where to step, it would have been a lot quicker and I would have been like a year ahead of schedule.
Right. Do you have any other like big bits of advice to offer, like for people who kind of maybe are looking to follow in a similar path, like I don't know, or just like for esports in general? And do you have any like huge mistakes that you made with witness gaming?
Keep yourself educated and just understand like not to stretch yourself too thin. Be ambitious, but obviously don't put yourself in financial risks, because there have been times where I've had to like pay up for a LAN and then just like super hard budget for 2 months because I didn't have enough money. So I would be like, not like in danger or anything, but I would maybe cut down to 2 meals a day and then still have enough money for gas and things like that and still pay my bills, right?
Yeah, and that's one more than me.
Yeah, so like So like definitely try and like make sure you're not stretching yourself thin, set good boundaries, and stay knowledgeable. Those are probably the biggest piece of advice I can give you.
Okay. And then how about like any like what are some of the biggest mistakes that you've made that you've learned from with like witness gaming?
Don't use your face as a fucking logo. That's,
Okay.
that's, a, that's a big one. Um, take yourself, take your brand seriously, but yourself less seriously. I found that whenever I took myself seriously and just took like a very like mindset, I was less happy working on witness gaming things.
Very insightful stuff. Thank you. I think let's see. I'm just debating between covering like resup.gg land stuff. You're not sure. Let's strike while it's relevant. So give me some insight into like resup.gg, sort of what you've done with them, going to these lands, helping to organize them. Like,
Sure.
walk me through some of that, and then we'll go into like the regular TF2 stuff. I think afterwards, and probably
Yeah.
close off with like mentoring.
Yeah. So Resup, is NA's, I would say, premier LAN organization, TF2 event planning or organization. It's spearheaded by Banny, and I was kind of brought in late, but essentially I was in charge of just kind of being the ambassador, kind of talking to players, making sure everyone knew what was going on, being an administrator role, things like that. Like if there's like a message that had to go out to people or people who had to like needed to know something, I was the one to tell them.
So community manager, kind of.
Hmm?
It's like a community manager, kind of.
Essentially, yeah. And then at the LAN itself, I helped run brackets, so I also ran tournament. Me and Queequay both did that.
Okay. And are we gonna like be seeing more of these like LAN events going forward?
Yes, yeah.
Excellent.
We're taking a slight break right now because there's just been like so many LANs back to back to back that it's kind of like I call it the LAN monkey paw. Where after like people are like, oh, I want to land so bad after like Rewind 2 kind of went on hiatus or something like that. And then all of a sudden we got 3 lands in the span of like 3 months. Which is absolutely insane.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
How could you like what? How could you describe the impact of the lands? Like, how important are they to the state of the competitive scene, in your opinion?
They are integral, I think.
Okay.
Just in terms of like getting a public eye and showing like people outside of the game how serious we are with our esport, it matters a lot.
And would you say like one of the key differences between Sixes and Highlander in terms of professionalism then is Sixes' ability to hold lands just sheerly due to like the lesser player count and logistics?
I wouldn't call that. I wouldn't call a lack of professionalism related to logistics. I think it's just that like organizing 9 individual people to a venue is a lot of space.
Right.
No,
I'm just wondering if like the lack of lands like that kind of make it more professional, like kind of.
I feel like it's weird. I feel like the Highlander players I see go to LAN aren't as loud in person as they are online. That's just that's just a weird thing I saw, but once you kind of see someone face to face, it's kind of hard to like be a goblin. You know what I mean?
Right.
For me anyway. Like it adds context. Like
I would definitely see that. Like it humanizes it, especially with like admins and whatnot.
Yeah, well, it adds like humanity to it. You know what I mean?
Right, and maybe that's like one of the things like that kind of results in Highlander not being like as professional or like as mature sportsmanship wise. Yeah.
I again can't speak on it. I haven't played in a while.
Oh no, that's fair. I'm just wondering like if you have any like theories or like if you could kind of relate that.
Nothing too much on that though.
Okay. I just figured I'd follow up, see if there's anything interesting there. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, and then you have like the RGL, the Insomnia land coming up. Definitely quite a few lands, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Uh, do you have any plans of like doing more central lands or anything, or is it gonna be a east-west coast split?
I can't comment on that.
That is 100% fair. All right. Think any other things you want to talk about resub.gg?
No, I mean, really, like the role I kind of have there is very similar to what I did with like RGL, in like RGL's early conception.
Well,
And
what did you do with RGL?
a lot. So I was there. I was on RGL staff since season 1 of Prolander. So I was there in the very beginning. That was a big reason why Ascent played the Prolander seasons there, because I was networking with like Mela at the time, and I was like 17, 18. From there, I kind of helped get the Highlander season going too. I branched off of Prolander, went on to Highlander, kind of talked to all the teams there. I feel like at that point, I was pretty well known because I did a lot of the spreadsheets in Silver. So people knew who I was. And again, just like a community talking figure, you know, talking to people, keeping everyone kind of in the loop, making choices on bands, things like that. And then I did a little bit of the same thing with Face It, where I did some admin work on with Face It whenever, like, very early on. Yeah, so that's kind of the background of like all the admin work I did. It's a lot of like working on projects early as they were still developing, and laying a lot of like the early framework.
Right. Okay.
Well, whether or not that framework's being upheld today, don't know.
Like hard for you to say for sure. I guess like a lot of that stuff is kind of like internal stuff that you probably aren't at like too much levity to comment much on. Yeah.
Depends on what you want to ask, really.
Okay. I'll admit you kind of was not expecting that response. Okay. Error 404 not found.
No, that's alright, man.
Alright.
No, I mean, like, I feel like I'm okay talking about a lot of the early stuff, you know, like, just nothing, like, related to any, band decisions I might not have been a part of. I can't really comment on, obviously, because I wasn't involved in the process.
What was, like, the state of the community back then, I guess? Like, how much drama, like, what were the main sources of it that you had to deal with?
I feel like a lot of it was always a weird push-pull with... I don't know, I feel like it was okay whenever I was on staff, honestly. All things considered, aside from the few, like, harassment cases that came up, or just, like, petty invite drama that came up every now and then.
Okay.
Like, it was fine, but I felt like the decisions were handled a little bit better back then when I was on. Now I don't know really, but that's pretty much all I can really remember. It's kind of a blur, honestly.
That's fair, yeah. Okay. What led to you, like, when did you stop being an RGL admin?
I stopped... Oh, man. I have to look at my RG. You can kind of tell, like, in my RGL history, probably, whenever I stopped.
Maybe, like, season 5 or so? Season 2?
Let's see.
I'm gonna guess, like, season 5 or 6.
It's season 10. Yee. Let's see. My RGL page. I'm pretty sure it was like season 5, like after Hunt's been in jail. Maybe even like, Yeah, it was definitely before season 6.
Yeah, so in between season 5 and 6, you're the invite admin for season 5. It says on the league table.
Well, yeah, it was like 1 to 5, probably. Yeah, it was Highlander 1 to 5, and then Prolander 1 to 3 or 4. I want to say probably 1 to 3.
Okay, and what led to you like stepping down?
Just really got tired of everything. Pretty much, I got tired of dealing with everything. It kind of felt like some of the goals got lost, and like the communication kind of got worse, and I didn't want to have to like deal around it as much.
Okay.
I think at that point too, I know me and Ad on RGL staff, or like me and him were really good friends. I've known him for almost like 6 or 7 years now. But I think he actually like took a break, and like he was saying he was going to take a break, and Wall was going to leave, and I'm like, well, if you two are leaving, I'm also going to leave because I don't want to deal with anyone else. So we all kind of jumped together.
The old guard is gone.
That's pretty much what happened. Yeah.
Okay. And do you, from an outside perspective, just like as a whole, do you think RGL is still kind of like struggling with their goal, or do you think they regained their sense?
I think the communication still needs a lot of work.
Okay.
There's like a whole fiasco with invite teams not really getting necessary information for land travel.
Yeah.
And that really kind of fucked up a lot of people. And thankfully it got sorted out quickly, but there was like a Titanic to an iceberg moment where we were like, oh my god, like if this isn't fixed, we might not have like a land. But they pulled it together very, very quickly. It's just that I wish it was settled a lot quicker. Granted, they were having like a big staff shuffle, but it was still like very frustrating to deal with, like as a manager and person who's in that circle, you know.
Have you considered reapplying at all, or is it still something like you just wouldn't want to deal with the people?
I think with what I'm doing with like Witness Gaming right now, no, because I think with how I'm interacting with like the game now isn't really meant for
administration.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, like maybe there could be like a bit of conflict of interest or something.
I don't think I ever struggled with that because there were times where like I was playing Invite in Highlander, but also was like the Invite admin. You know?
Yeah, before Jill changed that.
Yeah, but I think I did it really well. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think I'm proof that like it can be done well. You just need to like not elect like incompetent people.
But let's say like, I don't know, somehow like you became the head admin of Highlander. How would you go about fixing like the community, like the sense of professionalism, the top players having probations and whatnot? Like, what would you try to do?
I've always been a strong believer in heavy-handed punishments. You know, like if you don't follow, so it kind of goes hand in hand. Like, make your policies very black and white clear. If anyone has questions about it, they can ask you for more clarification, and then you readjust how you wrote it to fit that clarification. So, like, clear as day, here's what you can do, here's what you can't do, right? Mm-hmm. So if somebody fails to adhere to that, then they get punished. And then you tell people why they got punished. Here's why, word for word, letter for letter. Don't do that. You know what I mean?
And do you think that sense of like consistency maybe is something that RGL has like historically and maybe still struggles with?
I think so, yeah, because it's just a lot of talking heads, you know.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like a bit of a self-explanatory answer, is like how that could be different. Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure I never really banned anybody in RGL until I banned like all of Red 5. And then I left. I banned 9 players and then I left.
That was for throwing grand finals, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bans everybody, refuses to leave, refuses to elaborate, leaves.
Bans everybody. I clipped I think I People ask me why they were banned, and I just link them the VOD, and then I would close the DM. Like,
So, like, what went into like making that that? What was the decision making like with doing bans? I guess how is it? What was it sort of like?
I mean, did they break X rule? Yes or no? If they did, is your context for missing? Is it the rule where you don't need context? So, like, if somebody is blatantly cheating, right? And you're like, yeah, this guy is blatantly cheating. You're just banned on the spot. You know what I mean? And you have good evidence to back it up, sure. If somebody, like, throws a match on purpose, or, like, types the N-word in, like chat, where it's, like, blatant and you don't need, like, any sort of clarification, this ban, you know what I mean?
So,
For me, I always tried to work in a way where you could make a confident decision and back it up with just like tangible evidence and like facts.
yeah, no, it's definitely fair if you don't like, I don't know, TFTV just like starts showing you up.
Well, I mean, yeah, chew it up all you want. Like, yeah, your friend got banned, but here's like 3 lines of what they did wrong and why, and here's a excerpt from the rules saying don't do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely get that. Much harder when you.
My mantra was always play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You know,
The stupid is you.
it's just, yeah, you're gonna do something dumb. Here's a dumb fucking penalty. Don't do it again. I can do this all day. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Do you think it's just like? Do you think there should be like more like you said you were a fan of like kind of like having a bit of a heavier hand with bans? Yeah.
I'm a fan of having a heavier hand whenever your rules are also clear.
And do you think it's like there should be more like longer permanent bans, or do you think it's just like there should be more like consistent enforcement of the existing penalties?
I think consistency first. Like, being consistent in your punishments matters a lot more than the duration to me. Because like, the more consistent you are, the longer bans will just come over time naturally, right?
That's true.
Whereas, like, if you lead into like, oh, I'm going to ban this person for 2 weeks and then ban them for like 3 weeks, it's like, well, good job, dude. But now you have like 3 people you miss, and the people are like, well, what about this guy? Or what about this guy? Or what about this? He didn't do this. You know, it's like suddenly you look like shit, and you just look like you look like this ban happy, you know. So I would always value that consistency over like anything else first.
That definitely makes sense. Yeah. Oh, how do you feel about cheating bans?
Don't cheat. Don't get banned. Cheat.
No, I mean, like,
banned.
I mean, like duration-wise, repeat offenders.
I'm a firm believer that people can grow up and change. Like, fucking Habib cheated. You know, a long time ago in the ESCA. How different would the game be now if Habib like was permanently banned and exiled for cheating? You know what I mean?
Yeah. He just like disappears into the atmosphere.
Being lenient and understanding that you're dealing with kids, you know, is fine. I think, yeah, let them sit for like 4 or 5 months, 6 months, and think about what they did. Sit for a year, you know. Sit permanently. If after a year they still fuck around, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think it's okay to give chances. Just don't be afraid to keep an eye on those people and snap them back in line if they decide to go back to the bullshit again.
What if it's like evading through like ults and whatnot? Well,
ban them too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Do you think it adds like more nuance? Like, do you think it should be like a longer like permit ban in that case, or do you think it's also something you should be like somewhat lenient of?
Of course, Because like, if you try to avoid like a 6-month ban and start cheating again, I think that's just more of like a personal problem, and you need like help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe our jail should hire a psychologist.
Well, no, again, it's just like I understand, like, you know, you're dealing with kids and you want to look. Maybe you want to look good. Maybe you just want to troll. I don't know, man. It's just like I don't get it, so I can't speak from experience or anything like that. But I don't know. It's just not a very like appealing thing, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I believe we could probably get into like
Cool.
TF2 now. Yeah.
Do you
Like,
edit these like audio? Do you edit the audio?
not really. No.
Okay. Can you do cuts?
Yes.
Okay. I need to pee. So.
Oh yeah, no, breaks are fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to take a pee break.